improvement of derogation. Each improvement made will be written in small improvements that will result in, and in the final result of everything working great. So you got to understand that with any testing, there's going to be, okay, it tests to work, okay, it's not working, okay, go back and retest, and you got to document everything, right? So when do you stop, right? Because this can go on and on and on. So when you reach a CPU bottleneck, the choices then are either improve the code or add more CPU. That's an example, like I said, right? So where do you actually stop? I mean, this testing can go on and on and on, right? Well, you kind of can stop either if your money runs out, right? Or your time runs out. But if you have a proper plan and a project plan and a proof of concept and a test plan, development plan, high level plan, you would end up having, ending up with having the right thing, right? Or ending up having, how can I say, the results that you need, right, from the testing. So let's talk more about stress testing. Now, this is kind of what I want to put emphasis on. And stress testing is, as we know now, is a software testing. And when we talk about, when we go back to stress testing, and I want to go back to that, and I want to actually highlight it if I can. Oh, yes, I can actually. Oh, this is nice, eh? So I want to kind of go like this, and I want to chat about stress testing for a bit now. And when we talk about performance testing, the main thing about performance testing is either load testing, okay? I'm just gonna do that. I don't want to confuse you. That's one, and then stress testing is number two, but it's your main one, right? So I'm just gonna try and write the main there. There we go. Okay, so that is the main, okay? And when we think about stress testing, it is a software testing. We know that, right? Activity determines the robustness of the software. By testing beyond the limits of the normal operation, stress testing is particularly important for mission-critical software, but used for all types of software, like software, web software, web service, applications, that kind of stuff. Now, stress tests commonly put a greater emphasis on robustness, availability, and error handling under the heavy load on what would be considered correct behavior under normal circumstances. That's what you want. You want normal circumstances under stressed environment, stress behavior, right? So failure may result to characteristics of non-production like environments or small test databases, or complete lack of load or stress testing. So, the failure may result to the thing breaks, right? Or, at the end of the day, nothing works like it's supposed to. So that is why we do testing, and that is why we do kind of like stress testing. So another thing that, when looking at performance testing is application response measurement, and it's called ARM. And ARM, application response measurement, is an open standard published by the Open Group for monitoring and diagnosing performance bottlenecks within complex enterprise applications that uses loosely coupled design and service orientation architecture, so that is SOA, and includes an API, okay, for C or for JavaScript or for Java. That allows timing information associated with each step, like processing and transaction, logging, remote server, and. So there's like a whole thing about application response management. But we'll get into more detail with that theory later on. So, let's just think now for a second. I'm going to go back to my activities. And activity setting, analyze results, tune in. But the thing that we're going to concentrate in this syllabus is more execute the test, right? We're going to use the software to execute the test. So, but like now, the question that I have is kind of like, okay, now there's a lot of tools out there. Which one do I actually use, right? So we need to kind of determine what will be the best tools out there, right? Because if you don't have the best tools out there, then your money that gets wasted, or your how can I say, your money and or your time gets wasted. And so you want to make sure that this is the correct thing, right? So, talking about different tools out there. Okay, so now we're going back to the subject of technology, right? We need to go check and have a look at what all the different tools out there. Okay, so now we're going to have a chat about the different tools. Okay, so when we look at different tools there, we kind of talk about load testing. Now, load testing in essence, and I'm going to explain it to you, and I've already spoken about this, but I want you to understand this, and I want us to go slowly through this so that everyone is on the same page. So, load testing is the process of putting demand on a system or device and measuring its response, right? Load testing is performed to determine a system's behavior under both normal and anticipated peak load conditions. Okay, now it helps to identify maximum operating capacity and the application as well as the bottlenecks, right? So we spoke about bottlenecks a bit ago, and now we're going to kind of look at the tools that we're going to use to kind of determine that. So when the load places on the system and raises beyond the normal usage pattern, in order to test the system's response at usually high peak loads, it is known as stress testing, and that's already what we've done, right? So the load is usually a great way to do the error conditions, and it's a good way of expected results, when with your planning and that kind of stuff. So software load testing, there's a couple out there. There is Apache JMeter, BlazeMeter, Blitz, Gatling, Load Impact, and LoadRunner, and that's the one that we're doing now. Performance testing tool primarily used for executing large number of tests or a large number of virtual users concurrently, can be used for unit and integrating testing as well. Okay, so it's got to be licensed, so you got to pay for it. So let's have a chat about LoadRunner. Okay, so LoadRunner, HP LoadRunner, is an automated performance and test automation, okay, product for from Hewlett Packard. Now, for examining system behavior and performance while generating actual load, HP acquires LoadRunner as part of the acquisition of Mercury Interactive Systems. Now, LoadRunner can simulate thousands of concepts, okay, and users can put applications through it by doing rigorous real-life user loads and stress testing while collecting information with the key infrastructure. That's what we're going to do, right? Now, the operating system that it runs on is Windows and Linux. So, you can do Unix and Linux, or Unix, Linux, and PC development and testing. And the most thing that it gets used for is web servers, databases, and web services. So the result can be then analyzed and detailed by using scripts, right? So LoadRunner supports various applications like FlexAMF, Citrix ICA, Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP, ERP CRM, okay? So that is Oracle, C-Business, Siebel and PeopleSoft, database, mail clients, web services, Ajax, TrueClient, version 11. So that's kind of in essence what LoadRunner is, right? And we know that it's kind of a stress test thing. So it all gets and puts together. So on the next video, we're going to chat about functional testing and functioning testing, and looking at the functionality of an application, because that's also important to understand before diving in to this whole performance testing and this whole like how do we use it and kind of stuff. So that was performance testing web application.